All right, due to miscalculations, Transnet will not have enough money for any of their newly prioritized projects.
Today we're joined by County Supervisor Kristen Gaspar to talk more about this lack of money as it relates to this and what Sandag now wants to do about it. It's an issue that we've been tackling here on Good Morning San Diego, KUSI, for a while. Kristen, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I think first off, let's go back in time a little bit and explain to San Diegans, because as San Diegans are learning more and more about this Transnet and how now, fast forward, Transnet did not collect the money that it originally said it would, that voters supported.
Right, let's take it back all the way to 1987, when voters originally said, hey, we're willing to give you an extra half-cent in sales tax out of our pocket because we understand more people are relocating to San Diego. We're going to need to fix our roads. Our highways have great transportation for this region. We're willing to give you that money. In 2004, the voters again said, hey, I know you promised to fix those roads and highways. It didn't really happen. We're willing to extend that. Now our taxpayers through 2048 are on the hook. Every time you go and make a purchase, you're paying half-cent more to fix our roads and highways. So now there's a big rub. When there were miscalculations on how much revenue would actually come in to fund these road and highway projects, now we're being told, oh, sorry folks, we're out of money. We can't complete the projects that we promised you. And now there are plans on the horizon to come back to the voters again, ask you for even more money. And even worse, there's a new vision coming to San Diego, and that's one of a pricing scheme, one of charging you the right price for driving, charging you between the hours of 8 and 6 to drive on the major roads and freeway lanes. I mean, when is enough enough? 70 cents. 70 cents every time you fill up per gallon are taxes alone. And meanwhile, you see people sleeping out on the streets. 500,000 San Diegans are food insecure. People are moving to outreaching areas of Riverside, San Bernardino. Our business community is struggling. We have to figure this out without going back to the voters time and time again and failing to deliver on promises.
Well, they're proposing to charge us. I'm not sure it's an official proposition yet, but they want to charge us for using main stretches of highway at peak times, kind of like SDG&E.
You have to follow this closely. I started talking about congestion pricing. The director of Sandag was known for bringing up this concept in LA. He had brought this concept up. I looked into congestion pricing. I came to the board meeting last time because I was accused of fear-mongering by going out onto KUSI talking about these issues. And I said, do we plan to use congestion pricing where we track your whereabouts and we tax you? And he said, well, we're not doing congestion pricing like you see in Stockholm and London where that concept was introduced. But listen closely, because they started saying dynamic pricing, you know, managing the corridors. And I thought, well, what is that all about? So I forced a vote at Sandag. I said, if you're not talking about congestion pricing, if you're not talking about charging San Diegans to drive, charging San Diegans more to park, then let's just take that off the table, take that tool out of the toolbox. So I forced a vote at Sandag, and guess what? It was very revealing. Prior to the vote, the director said, if you do this, you will single-handedly cause this plan to fail. You will tie the hands of your staff and put them in an impossible situation. We cast the vote, and the majority of the Sandag board wanted to keep that pricing tool in the toolbox. It's not off the table. If it was off the table, then they would have done so in that vote. So it's very clear that this is part of a strategy moving forward, and San Diegans need to know about it.
Kristen, why would Sandag ignore voters?
Sandag said, look, we're in a really tight spot. Miscalculations were done. There are very little funds remaining in Transnet. So the suggestion is, with the remaining funds, what do we do with those? They can shift those funds, and that was the original intent and why I originally came on this program, because a 2/3 vote of the board can shift the remaining funds, that $2.3 billion that should be invested back into the roadways, because their argument is it's not enough to complete even one project. But you can't turn your back on all of those projects that people expected. The 78, for example, that's just been waiting for improvements. You know, the 67, just a complete hazard. All of these roadway segments are so important into the future.
Not to mention the fact that they knew that some of their projections were off right before it went to the voters and did not stop it before.
We have to come up with a strategy that can't include ignoring these projects. Now I'm being told that at the very earliest, the date is 2035. So even though a group of us got a coalition together in North County, we were able to get the 67, the 78, the 52 back into priority projects. Well, it's a paper priority at this point. The funds have not been allocated. I'm being told the earliest these projects can move forward is 2035. It's astounding to me that one of my oldest child, will be almost 30 years old by the time these improvements take place. Hardly what San Diegans are expecting when we're talking about the priority of these roadway projects.
All right, Kristen Gaspar, thank you so much. Always great to see you.
Thank you so much,
Good
Kristen.
information to have.
And we should mention, Jason, also
website.
that there is a website. It's called StopTracksandTax.com. There is a petition on that website. Put in your information, sign that petition, because this will apply the pressure to get this thing stopped, and basically sends a message to Sandag that you are not in agreement with the direction and the vision that Sandag currently has. I also want to throw out there the executive director, Hassan Ikaratan, I believe that's how you say his name. He is welcome to please come in studio and chat with us about this vision, the pushback that Sandag is currently getting, because you know, it's important to have that other side.
Let your voice be heard, but with point counterpoint.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Kristen.
Both sides, we like it. All right, we'll be right back with more good